Hopping back to LEGO Harry Potter years 1 through 4, now that we have dealt with dragons and are now back at the common room. Well, we haven't really dealt with the dragons in their entirety. We've seen the dragons! And now we have another thing to do first, before we even move on with this Tri-Wizard tournament. And that is to follow the ghost all the way to I believe it's, I'm not even following them anymore because I already know where I'm going. We are going straight to our next class, which is always defense against, which as always happens to be defense against the dark arts. Because there is one spell that we are missing, and then we will be complete. We will have every spell in the game. Why can't I still get those yet? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Reducto. All those silver objects we see in those levels, all the silver we see around the campus is no longer a problem because we can now destroy silver. But that is no longer the point. This, honestly, I don't necessarily know why Reducto, I believe, was taught in the book, and not, it wasn't taught in the movie. They just kind of ended up, you would realize, like, oh, they learned this kind of on their lonesome, or in between segments of movie, because Harry does use it during the final task, I believe. But anyway, this lesson, in the movie at least, well, the only lesson, I believe, of Defense Against the Dark Arts they showed in the movie was Alistair Moody teaching the students about the 3 unforgivable curses, which are spells that can be primarily used by dark wizards to just have varying fates. You have the Imperious Curse, which basically allows you to control someone, thoughts, feelings, all that jazz. You also have the Ferocious Curse, which is a torture curse. Basically, it just tortures the user. And then you have the Killing Curse in Avada Kedavra. And if you play Hogwarts Legacy, chances are you learned all 3 of them and are a terrible person. Don't worry, I am too. Because I definitely learned all 3 curses, used them regularly, especially during boss fights. Which is really funny because one of the boss fights, after the big bad, when you use it, it ends the boss fight, but it keeps him alive. And now because we have this, we can finally reveal this. Maze. We're gonna fix the maze, send out the fat cat, and pile on through this to get, I believe it is another gold brick. Hooray! Yes it is. Alright, you cat. Let's get that out, and you know what? You get it. You did all the work for it anyway. 64 gold bricks. And we're still nowhere near done. Alright. I want the money. So that's how we're getting it now. Hooray. There is a stud magnet in this game. I just have to find it. And honestly, I'm too lazy to look for it right now. Moving on. I believe up next is, since that's our last lesson, this is kind of one of the spots right now in the game where we are just going to... Ooh! Remember when I said we can destroy these silver things now? We had 6 torches at one point. So there's number 7. And then if we keep going back, there's number 8. It's behind the brick wall next to the knight. There's number... You are not number 9. Get away from me, you student. There's number 9. Which gives us Doris Crockford. Yeah, I don't remember who she is either, don't worry. But we do this, we will get Madam Pence. Another character who off the top of my head I'm struggling to remember, but it's not that big of an issue. Anywho, this is looking to be... Oh, there's Malfoy. Actually, I believe if we stay here long enough, Moody will come out and mess with them. Oh, do I gotta hit him first, actually? No. It might not even be here. It might be at a different point. And it might be after you beat the main story. Actually, he's running off. But I know at one point, if you have Malfoy, he'll make fun of you. You attack him, he'll attack you back. But then Mad-Eye will come out and turn him into a ferret and throw him around. Alright. Now we are off to this tent to properly deal with the dragons. And on to my favorite, one of my favorite parts of LEGO games. We need a way to make this thing 2 players. So, presto. Hermione came to wish Harry Potter luck. And gets involved with this. At least in the game. But in actuality, he was on his lonesome. Hermione was in the stand. But, of course, game has to find a way to make it 2 players. Alright, nothing behind the barrel. It's only shining to show I can go in them, even though being stealthy doesn't really do anything for this level. Not like the... Ooh, Cedric Dragon Pass. It doesn't really do much considering the dragon will attack regardless at some point. But I do actually want him to destroy all of these because they do give you a little bit to kind of move on with the next part. Number 3, yeah. So this, we transfigured a dog. Well, from the rock. Which I believe is a reference to the book. And that's how Cedric collected his egg, which he transfigured a rock into a dog. And the dog just kind of ran around messing with the dragon while he could get the egg. Floor and Victor kind of did their own thing. Mostly because I don't remember and I don't want to look it up. Even though I might in between recording the audio and getting the video out. So, we'll figure it out. How they got past their dragon. Harry, on the other hand, is still working on getting past his dragon at this point. He has a method. He just needs to get out of his head and use it. But, you know, that would be a little bit too convenient for him to get out of his head right now and use it, so we're not going to do that. And plus, LEGO needed to pad the level. Even though I think it would have been fun to make this have another chase level in this game. But at the same time, I know I would miss some kind of mention or anything if they did make it another chase level. This level does have a chase element we'll get to later, but other than that, no big deal. Anyway, so Harry's dragon, as mentioned in the previous episode, is the Hungarian Horntail. Of the 4 dragons, it was known as the deadliest, the most vicious, all of it. So basically, my man, because you're the main character, you have to deal with the worst dragon. We don't make the rules, that's just what they are. But, other than that, upon getting advice from Alistair Moody, said, hey, what are you gonna do? In the book, they just kind of had a conversation, and he's like, you know, I'm actually pretty good at jumping off ledges. That's what I'm good at. They mentioned he mentioned that he enjoyed Quidditch. He enjoyed it and felt he was pretty good at it. But the problem is, he wasn't allowed to bring a broom. In the movie, they just kind of said, hey, you're allowed a wand. What you do with that wand is up to you. Which is the same thing that other members did. It was kind of, hey, let me just do this. And if it's a success, it's a success. If it's not, oh well, I tried. Do it. Now, Harry's like, hey, I'm good at Quidditch. So basically before the task, like the month before the task started, Harry and Hermione were actually in an empty classroom practicing the summoning charm Accio. But obviously you don't learn Accio in the story mode. You can get it as a bonus spell. It is the most expensive spell in the game, but what it does is it allows you to just grab the potion ingredients from afar. The annoying thing is, by the time you get the spell, you're more than likely going to be 100% with the game. Or you are saving your money. You're just buying it so you have it for 100% purposes. Neither is a bad idea. And now Harry has his broom. This, I think, would have been a good spot for a chase element. Let's just have, in a modern LEGO game, this would be because player 1 would be steering it, and player 2 would be shooting, we'll say, fireballs out of it. Shooting spells at the fireballs the dragon was doing until you get to this spot. And then in this spot it would be run away as fast as you can, destroy everything, but even then, this game is very lenient on what you can and can't get away with. Case in point, I'm taking my sweet time getting here, and now that I'm stuck, I don't have to move any farther. And the dragon will kind of just stay there until I get to a certain point. Right here. But once you get there, you're good. Oh, now I might actually be in trouble. Nope, hang on. Okay, nope. Why is he running into a wall? Fool. Ah, come on! Okay, we're back at this again. Yeah, no. I just wanted to... Thank you. Whoa, hey. How did I die? Now then again, you do take a dragon stomp, and... See, again, there's no real pressure for this chasing. I was able to get... And the student? Awesome. I mean, he's still in peril, but... Oh well. The fact that I was able to get the 2 collectibles that were hidden off to the side, and the student in peril, granted the student was accidental, I will 1000% admit that. Kind of shows this case level really wasn't helpful. And why would you leave her in the middle of the arena? Dude, you drop her off next time at the stand, and then get the egg. That would have made more sense, that would have been logical. Well, that being said, that takes care of this level. We now have Cedric and Floor with their dragon task. I don't have Crumb, but he's somewhere hidden in the level. 2 of the House Crest, the other 2 are hidden. True Wizard we did not do as well as we were hoping for, but alas, we move onwards, we move upwards, and we're now at 1.2 million? Yes, wonderful. Well, that being said, after seeing our students are saved through dumb luck, a couple more gold bricks, I will catch you all in the next episode. Later!